So Chris Eubank Jr. defeats Conor Benn over 12 rounds. And I wasn't scoring the fight, but for me, that was the fair result. And I think that there are a few things to consider in this fight. I think one of the things to consider is Chris Eubank Jr. did not look fully energized in the ring. And so I do think that the whole weight thing did affect Chris Eubank Jr. in the fight. I also wonder whether Chris Eubank Jr. actually hurt his hand in the fight, because when he was in the fight, at first he seemed very reluctant to use the right hand. I think that the fight went kind of how I thought it was going to go. I thought that maybe Conor Benn would win the first few rounds because he's the lighter guy, he's the quicker guy, he's coming up from a lower weight class. A bit like when Canelo fought Amir Khan was actually winning the fight for the first few rounds. You know, Amir Khan was beating Canelo for the first few rounds. It's because when a guy comes up from a lower weight class, even Kell Brook versus Golovkin, you know, Kell Brook was winning rounds, you know. When the lighter guy comes up, for the first few rounds, they're going to be dangerous because they're sharper, they throw more punches, and generally are quicker. But if the naturally lighter guy is not used to carrying that weight, he's eventually going to tire. And just having to be in a clinch with a bigger man is going to tire you out. So Chris Eubank Jr., while looking maybe unspectacular, was gradually grinding Conor Benn down. And I think that, you know, Conor Benn, he landed the more flashy punches. And maybe the fact that he was sharper and his punch delivery was a lot flashier and easier on the eye, that it appeared that he was doing better than he was in the fight a lot of the time. Things that Conor Benn did well was head movement, and he definitely stung Chris Eubank Jr. a few times. I would even argue that he more noticeably hurt Chris Eubank Jr. than Chris Eubank Jr. Hurt Conor Benn. They both hurt each other in the fight, but I think that Conor Benn definitely, you know, he definitely caught Chris Eubank's attention. But for me, the game changer in the fight really was the size. I think that the size began to tell, and I think that Chris Eubank Jr. was able to eventually sap the energy from Conor Benn. And Conor Benn really was holding on for dear life at the end of the fight. So for me, it was very entertaining. And, you know, Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn both had their dads in the corner. It was a historical fight. It was a fight that it was a novelty fight. It was a historical British fight. It was a novelty fight, and it was a fight that caught the imagination of the casuals. And so I think that overall, Conor Benn did very well, but he was simply too small to hang with the bigger man. I do wonder what this fight will do for Conor Benn mentally, because he seemed to be really affected by it. You know, sometimes when someone's really emotional, things like this, setbacks like this, can take a long time for someone to get over, and maybe he may never get over it. You know, the whole Eubank Benn surname and rivalry meant a lot to Conor Benn, and it looks like it really got to him. That loss is going to be a tough one for him to take. He may come back stronger, firing from all cylinders. He may, or he may not. This may permanently affect his career. You know, one thing I worry about is Conor Benn going back down to welterweight. You know, historically, there are cases where when a fighter goes up in weight class or goes up 2 weight classes and then tries to come back down to the lower weight class, they're never the same. Look at Roy Jones Jr. when he went up to heavyweight and then tried to go back down to light heavyweight. Not the same. Look at Kell Brook when he went up to middleweight to fight Gennady Golovkin. Went back down to welterweight. Wasn't the same. Look at Amir Khan, went up to middleweight to fight Canelo. Went back down. Wasn't the same. You know, there's a pattern of that. Maybe Conor Benn's the guy that can break the pattern. I'm not so sure. Let's see. Anyway, let me know what you think. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, hit the notification bell so you get a notification when I make a new video. If you appreciate my work and want to leave a donation, there's a link for that in the description. And with that, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you on the next one. For mortgage advice tailored towards your individual needs, contact PGB Mortgages today. Let them guide you through your home buying journey. Contact details are in the description.